had a star. You may have bad teeth. You ain't sick. You may be in the street. Monsieur, we get down, but I bless you, bro. You hear you.
One of the work, communication and understanding between people today, is the medium and the field of the arts of dance, of drama, of music, of poetry, can be viewed as a means of people communicating to each other in a very non-hostile and a very non-threatening way.
Draw a crowd? Do you think that the kids that come to the center and their families would come to a show if it were free and if it offered a wide variety of things, a rock band, a play, that kind of thing maybe? Do you think they'd come out for it?
I'm sure they would. A lot of people got turned on by the Neighborhood Arts Alliance. We got together community people, people from the Art Commission, representatives from the church, college professors, young people, and talented performers. Out of our planning came the Afro-American thing.
I first began singing in a church choir.
Performers included an African dance group, included a teenage rock band, included a black poet, included a black drama group, and the programs were put on in 5 different black communities.
The idea of cutting down the cost of neighborhood programs is utilizing facilities in the community which are free, and that includes public buildings. And these are natural centers where people come anyway, and they're pretty visible.
The San Francisco Art Commission participated in a very large way in this program through paying the performers. One of the central ideas behind a neighborhood arts program is to stimulate the development of the arts, and this can only be done by paying the performers to give them opportunities, new opportunities to play to new audiences and to have their talent seen by people in the community, in the neighborhoods, people who normally would not get to see them. We were very much interested in getting into those areas where we did know some people and where these people could be made responsive to the program. That is, responsive in the sense that they felt that these programs were their own programs and that they could actually, in fact, relate to these programs.
I'm talking to you now about something above our personal relationship. Pride, race, dignity.
Well, what's going to happen to me and my dignity if Mr. Harrison throws Mrs. Harrison out on her nose, as you put it?
Get another job. You're not dependent on them. You're young, healthy, in the prime of life. In fact, I've always wondered why you stagnate as domestics when you're trained and qualified to do something better and more dignified.
I'm glad you brought that up, Junie. You know why I'm not breaking my back as a practical nurse and buying frying hair, except on the side? 'Cause the work's too hard, the money ain't worth it, and there's not much room for advancement. But where can you advance?
The Aldridge Players, with very dramatic intensity, portray Negro family life as it existed in the 20s and in the 30s, lampooning the roles, lampooning the weaknesses of that tradition, but also pointing out the strengths of some of the powerful figures in the American Negro's family past.
I-N-E. And if I don't last another year, the deal is off.
Don't need no handouts. Just hearing you say you want it makes me shake.
You done use that word quite a lot, boy. What's the matter? You shame us? Well, get slapped in the face with this. How shame you gonna be when you have to go out and hustle yourself a job?
Making some huge strides towards the elimination of prejudice, because you will have provided some very meaningful ways for people to see each other and to see each other through art forms and have expression of different ideas and opinions through the vehicle of art rather than through the vehicle of hostile argument or argumentation. The important thing has been and is for the black people to come to discover their own art and our own art traditions, and to develop those traditions and to maintain control of those cultural contributions which the black people have made. And that is the kind of thing a neighborhood arts program can draw out.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to introduce to you at this time Bill Anderson, the poet, who's going to give you yet another brand of soul. Bill, nice to see you.
The first poem I'm going to read is called The Future. All of a sudden, the white girls on this ship are giving us trouble. The next poem is called Oh My God, I'm Dead. When you wake with a claw buried in your skull, you would be a fool to think it was really happening. Proof, proof. I'm Bill Anderson, and I write poetry. My poetry tries to find out what's happening to us as we move through the struggle in terms of individual people. But before we know what's going to be good or bad, first of all, we have to know what is. And that's what I try to do in my poetry. These are poems that talk about people and how they feel in the world. Two very short poems. When you wake up in the morning, there is a short moment when you think everything will be all right. This is the second one. If you could really see yourself when you look into the mirror, you would run outside into trees, barbed wire, so the next time you would have bandages over your face.
The Civic Center concept of culture as being reposited in white Greek buildings just isn't really where it's at today. People have got to deal with or be involved with a form of art which talks about them and talks in a language which not only they understand, but which is a language they feel to be so relevant as to be something they can't do without.
Just keeps rolling along.
And I just want to say one more thing. One more thing. I want to say, you out. It's getting